This is the Legends of Guards episode. I'm sure everybody knows what I mean when I say that, but you know what? We're going to talk about it on 94 Feet of UNC.
Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
Swicker with the defense and the rebound. That's a good effort by Swicker.
Stackout, streaking it on Park. Rebound stuck is good, and he gets fouled by Park. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackout.
I think that he brought him back so quickly, but you know what? They're down east. You can't teach that. You can't teach that. You can't teach that high-rising ability. 3. And Green rips down the rebound in traffic. 4-on-1. Great job. What a terrific job in transition. I mean, you could.
The glass no good. Rebound followed by hand throw. Good! Carolina.
Inside 30 overall. Love, top of the key.
Alice about this over. Carolina. The Tar Heels have won the national championship.
And that is it. There is a new team in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title. Captain, any final. North Carolina is the 2009 national champion. And this year, the confetti is going to fall to North Carolina. They're not going to be denied this time.
What's up, everybody? It is Monday, October 28th. You are tuned in to the 94 Feet of UNC podcast. I am your host, Linzel Graham. Of course, I got another special guest in the building with me today. But before we get into him introducing himself and everything, appreciate all the love and support from everybody. But do me a favor, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel at 94 Feet of UNC. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any content that I provide and bring to you guys. Because as I always say, and y'all know my motto, you never know who's going to stop in to chop it up with me. Make sure you follow me on my socials, on Twitter and on Instagram at 94 Feet of UNC. You know, like, just tap in with me for sure. We also got 94 Feet of UNC podcast merchandise, which is coming soon. I promise y'all it's coming. It's coming. I know y'all been asking about it, but it's coming. I promise y'all. But in order to find out about the free giveaways and the contests, things like that, you got to be tapped in with me. So make sure you follow me on my socials. Hit me up on YouTube for sure. My special guest, of course, in the building with me today, he now goes by Baden Jaxen. For those that want to know all about that, and I'm sure he's going to get into explaining everything, it's also known as Mr. Dexter Strickland. So, Baden, what's up with you, my guy?
What's the word, man? Living life.
Man, listen, man, you know, trying to be like you, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just popped up out of nowhere. When I seen the name, I was like, nah.
Yeah, I know everything.
Look, I tell you real quick, I had to reach out to Ray, right? Because when I saw the profile and everything, I reached out to Ray and I was like, yo, yeah, Ray Terry. So big shout out to Ray Terry, man. That's my guy, man. That's my guy right there for sure. But when I reached out to him, I was like, yo, is this Dex? He was like, yeah, bro, that's him. So I was like, bet, say less. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I want you to explain and get into everything in regards to the name change and everything. Well, of course, let everybody know who you are and all of that, but then explain this for the fans out there that don't know.
Yeah, no, you did a good introduction. You know, my name is now Baden Jaxen, formerly known as Dexter Strickland. And long story short, man, this was probably around 2015. I went down like a rabbit hole of universal truth. I was studying this philosophy. It was called the Kabbalion philosophy. And it pretty much breaks down like the frequencies and the vibrations of names and numbers and how they correlate. So after like a year of studying it, I was just at a point in my life where I was trying to figure out why. There was a lot of questions that pertain, you know, why certain things was happening, why it happened, not just myself, but just from a general standpoint. And like I said, man, after going down that rabbit hole and doing the studies and seeing how, you know, it would be beneficial to me and my mindset and my spirit, and you know, I chose to change my name. So that was in 2000, legally changed in 2016, and it's been a good life ever since. Even before, but you know, it's just higher knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's and you know, you guys that's listening, you can actually look it up. It's called the Kabbalion philosophy, and they break down a lot of things, but it's very interesting.
Yeah. I remember when we talked and you was explaining it to me. You know, I think you had mentioned that, you know, some people may think that it's like some type of cult or, you know, or something like that. Like, no, you actually legally changed your name. So it's like whole new birth certificate and everything, like legally. So, you know, for everybody out there, now you all know, if you see Baden Jaxen on socials or anything like that, it's no longer Dexter Strickland, it's Baden Jaxen. So, you know, what do people call you for short?
They call me B. Like, I would say my last 5 teams that I played on, 5, 6 teams, everybody calls me B, or just say Baden. My close friends back at home, you know, the majority of everybody back at home, they call me Dex. My close friends that I grew up with from my neighborhood, they call me Therese, and some, you know, for short, they call me. So that was Therese was my middle name, you know, back in the day. So if somebody calls me Therese, I know, like, that's my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with that person from New Jersey. But if somebody calls me Dex, I know that's from basketball, you know? And then, like, somebody's calling me Baden. Unless, like, it's like my friends that I still hang out with now, like Reggie Bullock, you know, Justin Watts, you know, like guys from Carolina that I still talk to that obviously know that I changed my name. Obviously, they call me out of respect. But my family members, my grandmother, my mom, they call me Baden, but every now and then they'll call me Dex or Therese, and they'll switch it up.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, everybody has respect the reason why I changed it. So everybody calls me Baden.
Got you. So just for the fans out there, just so y'all know, he ain't gonna beat you down or anything like that if you slip up and call him Dex or whatever the case may be. Like, he's not gonna do that, but it's now Baden. So, you know, like this, everybody's gonna have to remember that, I guess you could say. And really, I mean, of course, UNC family, as far as the fans, I mean, you probably already know how that's gonna go. Yeah, the name has changed, but they're gonna be like, yeah, that's Dexter. Like, we know Dexter. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's all good, man. It's all good. So listen, man, I'm glad you're here. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell everybody, you know, we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. So come on in. You can kick your shoes off if you want to, get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I can get you something to drink. You know, I gotta extend the hospitality because you in the Zell Dome now. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, man, like we just gonna chop it up a little bit, man, and just kind of get into some history in regards to you and UNC and what's been going on with you. You know what I'm saying? So I tell you, let's jump right into it. How did you become a Tar Heel? I ask everybody this.
Yeah. Nah, I would say, as far as I can remember, I would say it started when I was 5 years old, 5, 6 years old. I had this picture. Well, I would say my older cousin, he was like 3 years older than me. He had this picture in his room, and it was a picture of Michael Jordan. And it was like the famous picture, you know, when he's dunking from the free throw lines, tongue out, all that stuff. And I always would, you know, we'll be in the room playing video games, but I remember myself looking at that picture, seeing like, damn, that's cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a person to be doing that. And, you know, at that time I was able to see the crowd and the fans and how they were just like amazed and excited about, what Michael Jordan was doing at that time. And
yeah,
I mean, obviously at 5 years old, you're looking at it like a dream, or like you're looking at it like Michael Jordan's like a superhero, to say the least.
right,
And I guess putting that in my mind and my subconscious was like a foreshadow of how my life just played out, right? Because as an inner city
right,
kid, being from New Jersey, I never thought that I would, go to Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot
right,
of people where I'm from, close friends, like they ain't thinking about that. They in the streets, they, rapping. Some do play ball, but they don't think about playing ball on the scale, like going to a D1 college and, playing professional. So
right.
I would say, as far as back I can remember, I was 5 years old, 5 years looking at that picture. And I guess that was like I said, like a foreshadow of, manifestation. And just from then, I went to St. Patrick's in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I would
Yep.
say, well, not there. Let me backtrack a little bit. When I was in 8th grade, even before 8th grade, I remember I was just playing ball. You know what I'm saying? I was just outside playing ball. I was in AAU tournaments, stuff like that. And I would never forget my mom. My mom brought to my attention, like, I guess they had like rankings for the top 8th graders in the state, and I was ranked number 1. But I didn't even know they did rankings. I was just out there hooping, and
Right.
I seen the excitement that it had. I seen the excitement that it gave my mom, and I would say around that time I started to see how beneficial it can be, not only for myself but like for my family. You know what I'm saying? To like go to
Right.
school in North Carolina or any individual in school for free and potentially turn pro. So I would say around that time, I started to take it serious and started to not just hoop, starting to train. You know what I'm saying? Starting to develop my skill and to structure it to where I can have the potential to go to a D1 school. So
Yeah.
after training, I trained with step pops. My step pops was my AAU coach, and after training with him, I became pretty good. And then I remember my high school practice, they were getting I never forget.
Hold on, B. Your I think your signal is like lagging a little bit. So it might be the area, it might be where you at or something like that. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's coming in a little choppy. I didn't want you to keep going and then
Is it
know
good
what
now?
I'm saying, like, yeah, you
Oh
good.
yeah. When Coach Roy started,
Wait a minute, it's messing up again. My bad, bro. I hate cutting you off because I want to hear this story for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know the fans want to hear it too, but I don't know if it's the signal or something like that. Unless you want to try and like jump out and then you can like jump right back in. I don't know. Like, if you want to try that. All right, so we're gonna get Baden back here in a second, y'all. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Cause I definitely want to hear this story, because it seemed like he was really going somewhere with that, So we definitely we got to hear that for sure, man. But yeah, man, big shout out to him, man, for stopping through, of course. And we're gonna get into some things, man. We're gonna get into some things for sure, man, and see what's been going on in his life. Obviously, you all can see the name change. So, the brother's on a different path in life and things like that. So which is I guess that's a beautiful thing. So we're gonna dive into a little bit of his history and background and things like that. So we just gonna hold off for a second and we get him back in here and see try and continue with everything and hear this this story from my guy for sure. As you all know, like, listen, once again, I appreciate everybody, all of the love and support that I've been receiving. A lot of people in my DMs, you know, and I just truly appreciate it. It means a lot. It really, you all have no idea how much it actually means, but it really does mean a lot. It just shows that a lot of the work that I'm putting in, whether it's a slow process or a fast process, but I appreciate it for sure. So let's see. We got him back. We got him back.
My bad, man. It was my
Right. That's what it was. That's what it was. It's all good, guy. It's all good, my guy. It's all good. So I tell you, if you want to start at the Michael Jordan, the foreshadowing of the Michael Jordan poster, if you want to kind of take it back a little bit.
Yeah, long story short, man. You asked me when did it start, and I would say it started when I was a little boy. I was in my cousin's room, and he had a Michael Jordan picture up there, and I was just mesmerized by it. You know, I was fascinated how a human can, like, you know, do some of the things that he was doing, jumping from the free throw line, winning dunking contests, and things like that. And just the, you know, Michael Jordan speaks for itself, right? So being a 5-year-old and looking at that, I was amazed, and he was kind of my superhero. And I would say as I got older, I always had talent. So my dad was a All-American football player. So, you know, it's in the genes. And my uncle he was in the Hall of Fame for baseball in Newark, New Jersey. And my grandfather, my mother's father, was also you know, an athlete as well. So I always had athleticism and talent, but I didn't start working on that until, like, let's say, like 7th and 8th grade. And once I seen that, I saw I just saw the potential and how beneficial it would be to take it serious. You know what I'm saying? And, like, actually work on my game and, you know, better myself. So I would say 8th grade, I went to St. Patrick's High School in Elizabeth, I'm about to say North Carolina, Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I played with guys like Kyrie Irving, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Corey Fisher, Jeff Robinson, same school that Al Harrington went to, Shaheen Holloway, you know, so going
big names you throwing out there.
That school, man, just like it was a game changer.
Yeah.
You said what?
Oh, nah, I was saying you throwing out some big names right there, man. Like, you know, like,
yeah,
a lot of big names right there. A lot of good players that came out of Jersey, but I ain't mean to interrupt you. But continue. My fault.
No, so nah, you good, man. So, you know, after going there and like I said, I was, you know, started really working on my game to go to the next level. We will always have, you know, open practices where college coaches can come in and, you know, basically check us out. So colleges was all over the country was coming. You know, Billy Donovan was in there. John Calipari was in there. Obviously, you know, Coach Roy was in there. Coach Williams was in there. And I'll never forget when he came in, and I forgot what teammate it was, but, you know, he tapped me on my shoulder. And he's like, "Yo, that's the coach from North Carolina." And for me, I'm like, damn, like, these coaches, you know, from all over the country is here to watch us practice. So I remember like making sure that, you know, I outperformed not just my teammates, but like myself, you know what I'm saying? Like making sure that, you know, I was on my A game. And I remember after, you know, I got a chance to talk to him, you know, shook his hand, and you know, the rest of the coaches that was there. And you know, to fast forward, I took my trip. I took my official visit out there. I had like 9 of my family members rent a RV, and we drove from New Jersey all the way to Carolina. And you know, that was it for me. You know, once I went there and, you know, saw the facility, Just saw how, welcoming, everybody was, from the players to the fans to the coaches, guys like Danny Green, Ty Lawson. Who was my host at the time? I think it was Deion Thompson, Marcus Ginyard. Those guys just welcomed me with open arms, and it was murder she wrote. After that.
Yeah.
So I think I committed with my junior year in high school. I committed, and after my other top two schools I was looking at was Michigan State and Gainesville, Florida. I love Billy Donovan, and I love Tom Izzo, but when I went to Carolina, it was a done deal.
Yeah. Listen, once again, like I tell everybody, because this is something, of course, that all my fans know, that this is something that I tell everybody. Everybody has a different story, but everybody just about has the same story, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And it makes perfect.
Like, the stories are just incredible. Like, when you just start mentioning all of these names, like, the Kyrie Irvins, Al Harringtons, who else did you say? You said Jeff Robinson, right? Like
Michael Kidd, Chris,
Gilchrist, yeah,
Mike Nardi. It's a lot of guys that went there,
man. Yeah. So when you mentioning these names, like, these ain't no little names. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, these are the things that a lot of people, as far as the fans, they don't know the behind the scenes, which is the reason for this platform, for the fans to know this is what his journey was like and how he became a Tar Heel. And, every show I mention family. UNC is a family, right?
Yeah.
For you to even and just even hearing these stories from Q to Ray Terry to David to even Pete Chilcutt and Kevin Salvadori, like, and Derek Phelps, like, hearing the stories from them are the same. It may be different people, but it's the same type of story for
sure.
For guys like yourself. Like, you mentioned the Ginyards, the Danny Greens, the Ty Lawsons, Deion Thompsons, and the list just goes on as far as how they welcomed you to UNC and the way that they treated you. Well, once again, it always goes back and resorts back to that word family. And that's just incredible, man. Like, to see that. I forgot who it was that I was talking to, but a matter of fact, I think it was Jackson Simmons. And he mentioned that the way that UNC was back in 1950s or whatever the case may be is the same way that UNC is in 2024. Like, it has not changed. And just imagine how big this family is. It's the biggest family in college basketball, if you ask me. I don't think there's no.
That's very true. I can actually touch on that because I feel like, just like you said, like, everybody has the same, not the same journey. I would say the same destination, but the journey is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would say, from personal experience, obviously my destination was Carolina, but how I got there was different from other people. And when I was there was different from other players. And when I left, my journey, leaving, and my journey into, like, my transition into playing professional, and my last 12 years of playing professional has been different. So everybody has a different story. But I would like to, kind of touch on the brotherhood of Carolina. From my personal experience, I think there's always room for improvement, right? Like, pertaining anything. And I think what's more important now than ever is unity and, having a strong network. right? So, like you said, Carolina, that Carolina brotherhood is something to, you don't want to overlook it, but I feel like there's a lot of guys that can feel uh, more family. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, More a part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, and again, this is just from personal experience. Like, there's guys that I haven't talked to in a while, and it can be from personal preferences, or it can be from certain things that may happen in their personal lives, and nobody's there
Right.
to check on them, things like that. Um, but again, like, this is from my own personal view of that Carolina brotherhood. I feel like we can even be more, more of a unit, more of a family.
Yeah.
Because you never know what somebody is going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, you've been with that, you've been with your 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 friend or your roommate at that time in Carolina for 4 years. But then after the 4 years, like, are you guys still in contact with each other? You know what I'm saying? Are you guys checking up on each other? Things like that. And I feel like once you go to a school like Carolina, and you have so many guys that went there and
Mm-hmm.
succeeded, there should always be a place that you can call home, not just like in literal terms, but in a friendship in your heart. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even now when I go back to Carolina, I feel like I'm home. You know what I'm saying? I still get
Right.
treatment from the physicians. I can hit up Coach Hubert Davis right now, and tell him, hey, I want to jump in practice with the guys. And he said, all right, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of relationship and that kind of connection that you want, it never dies. And I think that's one of the things that I appreciate about Carolina, is that brotherhood that they express, but also,
Mm-hmm.
like, making sure that we all feel that. You know what I'm saying? From me to, I'm just naming guys, from me to Justin Watts to Will Graves, even Larry Drew, even though he left, you know what I'm saying? Even though he transferred to UCLA, it's bigger than basketball. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's way bigger than basketball. And if you can have that camaraderie and that brotherhood and that network outside of basketball, it can go, but so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everything that you just said sounds so familiar. Like, it sounds so familiar that it's almost becoming like cliche, right? But that same type of
Yeah.
story is the same type of story that I heard from Q, right? When I had him on a couple weeks ago. And of course, he mentioned it in the episode. So Q basically was saying that
Yeah.
he was going through a tough time in his life. But OG players such as
Mhm.
Shaman, and a lot of the guys that played before him was reaching out to him and helped him in different
Yeah.
ways. That shows the family, the core and the nucleus of what that word family means, right? Like Q said, that it was
Yeah.
incredible for him because of the fact
I'll
these
tell
are
you a quick
guys
story.
that he didn't.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, go ahead. Nah, you good. Go ahead.
I think it's like a delay. It's probably a delay, but
Yeah, it's a
I
little
didn't mean to
delay,
cut you
but
off at
go
all.
ahead.
I was just going to add on to, like, I guess, kind of like, yeah, to what me, or what solidified my friendship with Reggie, is I never forget when I first left Carolina and became pro. Reggie was like the first guy to hit me up and was like, "Hey, bro, just checking on you, man. Hope all is well." You know what I'm saying? And that meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I went my first year out of Carolina, I played in France, and I was out there by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know anybody in France. I didn't know none of my teammates. I didn't know the language. I felt like I was alone. You know what I'm saying? And, like, just to have him just send me a little message like, "Yo, bro, like, thinking about you, my dog. Hope everything is all right. Just checking on you." That meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like that solidified my friendship, even more. I mean, we was close when we were at Carolina, but it solidified it because he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think it kind of alludes to, what you were talking about, Q, just that family. And I also want to talk about how it's not just like the brotherhood that's important, right? Like, I do want to talk about also like the network that we should have as not just players, but as like black men, you know what I'm saying? Or like brothers. It's not even about race, but it's like, I feel like we should have more assets that can benefit us as a brotherhood. I don't think there's not a reason why we shouldn't have, an apartment complex or anything, real estate or a business that all of us can eat from. And when I say all of us, is like, even if you take the top 20 guys from Carolina. And when I say top, I mean like you can take the lads from 2005 to 2024. You take all of those guys, and let's say each guy puts in $500 a month in a pot, for 2 years. I'm not a math genius. I don't got the number in my head, but if we did that, we can save up to, buy some land or, open up a business that can benefit everybody. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like a lot of people are not thinking like that. And I think it would be so, so beneficial to not just us as a Carolina brotherhood, but like our people, you know what I'm saying? And like give an example of how we can, all be beneficial towards each other, just creating something and building something that we can live from. You know what I'm saying? That we can provide not just ourselves, but our family from, something that's generating generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if our mind was on that frequency, there's so many things that we can do together as a network.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Maybe we can figure something out and see what we could do. Try and put something together, man.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, we might be able to do something like that, man. I'll try and gather the guys up or whatever. Just call me Fred Hoots Jr.
Okay, like, Fred Hoots. I like that.
Yeah, just call me Fred Hoots Jr. Like, Hoots, if you're listening, I'm still waiting. Just so you know that, my guy, I'm still waiting. I know. Listen, I'm well, not Fred Hoots. All right, Lord have mercy. I don't know why I got Fred on my mind. Eric Hoots.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I get that right. Oh, man. Listen, Hoot, if you're listening, my apologies on the name, but I'm still waiting, my guy. Like, for sure. I know all about you being the president over there at the university, buddy. Like, you ain't get that title for nothing.
I'll text Hoots. Hoots a busy guy, man.
Yeah.
So
I know he's busy, but he done got some messages. For sure. But we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out, man. But
yeah, for sure.
just going back to all of that, man. Like, it just goes to show how close knit UNC is. Like, it really is. Like, I forgot who it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think that it was Q that I was talking to, and he had mentioned the fact that, they didn't, during the summer games and stuff, they didn't really have like nobody to kind of like play up against or something. It was something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But then he said that, Coach Davis and it was somebody else. It's in one of the past episodes, but he said that, they came into the gym and started playing with him. Now you're talking about Coach Davis at, not the young Coach Davis, a little bit older, like, you know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show, like I said, like when he mentions the fact that, Shammond Williams and some of the other guys reaching out to him when he was going through some things in life, and the fact that they was able to help him get through some situations throughout his life or whatever. And here it is. he never played a day with them. Like he never
Yeah.
played on the team with them. Like you're talking about 2 different decades. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show, like you said, the unity, like it's unbreakable. And there's so many in the family that it'll never be broken. Like if that makes sense. Like that chain will never be broken because it's just too many links on that chain.
It makes sense. My whole thing is I agree with you. My whole thing is like we have to go somewhere with that though. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
We need more. You know what I'm saying? Like we need something that we can look at and say, okay, we built this, and now it's not just beneficial for my family, but it's beneficial for, if my son goes there, if my son's son goes there. And I'm talking about assets, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the asset can pertain to anything. It can be land, it can be, brick and mortars, it can be, whatever, a restaurant, it can be whatever. I just feel like there's another level that we can go as far as Carolina Brotherhood, and I think it pertains ownership.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look at Armando Bacot. If I'm not mistaken, he's getting his first hotel built right now. I think in Chapel Hill, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that's big.
Yeah,
like a lot of people, only people that are fans know about that. But anybody outside of that, if you're listening to this podcast, just know Armando Bacot has a hotel being built in Chapel Hill right now.
You got Reggie Bullock, who's building the island in Belize.
I saw that. That's crazy.
But that's a great example, right? Like I think he got the island. This will be, I think this is his 3rd year, but I think it's a almost 4-acre island. And affordable, you know what I'm saying? It's not like nothing crazy, like millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think it was like what 1.2 or $2 million or something like that. And my mindset of that is that's fantastic. Like, what if 20 of us invested a couple of $100,000? We can own some property in Belize. We can own some property all over the world. We can own some property in Chapel Hill. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we start speaking the language of generational wealth, something that we can pass down to our family, and not just, recognition and scholarships from the school, but some ownership, something that we can benefit as people,
Yeah. I listen. Like I said, we'll get together and try and figure something out, man. Got to try and hopefully I could be the glue to all of this and try and bring everybody together, man, and see what we can put together or whatever. Because I'm right there with you. I think that's a brilliant idea, and I mean it could be done with all of the greats that have came through this school.
Like this.
Yeah,
100%
it can be done. Yeah, it can be
Absolutely.
done. So we'll figure something out. We'll definitely figure something out. We listen, we got the numbers now, so we good. We good. I got your 10, you got my 10. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna try and figure some things out for sure. And hopefully this show can also help put that together. Like, I'm all for that. So, but I tell you, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Give the fans one of your most memorable moments at UNC.
That's tough. It's tough. Like, what we talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about on the floor, we talking about on the court, we talking about in the dorm rooms, we talking about I'll give you one on the court and off the court.
Okay.
On the court, on the court, I would say my most memorable moment was when we won the ACC. That was my junior year, I believe. That was my junior year. We won the ACC. That was lit. We beat Duke. I remember, the fans rushing the floor, and everybody holding us up. You know, for me, that never happened before. That's why it was a memorable moment for me. I never had fans rush the floor, you know, after winning the ACC championship, you know, cutting the net down, things like that. I'll never forget that. And even, I guess that, you know, alludes to off the court, because that night was just crazy. You know, Franklin Street was crazy. The clubs was jumping. Everybody was outside. So,
yeah.
That was cool. Like my on court experience was, I would say, winning the ACC championship and, you know, having the fans rush the floor and everybody, you know, just excited and happy that we got that championship that year. Off the court, oh man, it was so many memories off the court. I'm gonna try to keep it PG.
PG 13.
Nah, so I remember we had a prank war. This was I think this was my freshman year. We had a prank war. So the prank war, who was involved in the prank war was me, John Henson, Leslie McDonald. We were all in dorm rooms together. And then who lived upstairs from us was Ed Davis, Larry Drew, and Justin Watts. And I remember that Larry Drew, he had just got a car. I think he had like the newest Denali SUV. And it was funny because he didn't let anybody drive his car, right? Like he didn't let anybody drive his car, like touch his car, or like eat in his car, nothing. So I forgot how I got his keys, but we went to the football game and I stole his keys. I got his keys and I rushed back to the parking lot in the Dean Dome. And I remember driving his car to Time Out to get some food. And I remember putting I had like a big plate of food and I put it on the armrest and I sent him a picture of it. So once I sent him a picture of it, like he was like, how the hell, you know, how the hell this dude get my key? So you can just see him running down the hill towards his truck and him chasing the truck and stuff like that. That was hilarious. But that spilled over into like just a prank war going back and forth. I remember I was coming home. Well, we was going to the dorm room. I think it was after practice. And it was me, John, and Leslie walking up the stairs. As soon as we get on our floor, in front of our door, you just see a bunch of it was Fruity Pebbles on the floor, a bunch of like snacks, milk, just all outside, like poured out in front of our door. And we like, the hell is this? Like we opened the door and it was crickets. It was crickets, like literal insects. It was crickets everywhere. It was crickets on the floor, on the wall, crawling on the wall. There was broken eggs, like all throughout the kitchen, all throughout the living room. So like they just threw eggs all over the place. So I go to my room. And like, as soon as I open my room, it's pretty much the same thing. Just crickets everywhere, eggshells, egg yolk, all over my bed, all over my walls, the window. It was just crazy. But I remember it was this smell. I'm like, what the hell is that? It was just this awful smell. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And I cleaned my whole room, washed my sheets, washed my walls, everything, cleaned it out. And then the next day, I went in my room. I remember I had my girlfriend at the time. I went in my room. She was like, oh my God, what is that smell? And I told her, I'm like, you know, these guys came in the room, you know, broke a bunch of eggs, put some crickets in here. I was like, I'm trying to get the smell out. So the next day after that, the smell got worse. Like each and every day, it got worse. I'm like, what the hell is this smell? So I'm cleaning out everything. I'm cleaning out my closet. I'm looking under my rug. I cleaned it 3 days in a row, but the smell is getting worse. Like what's in my room. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I flipped my bed up, and it was like a cup this size, and it was filled with ferret shit. Excuse my language. It was filled with ferret poop, and it was molded. It had like mold in it. So Ed Davis, what he did was he went to PetSmart. And he asked them, you know, what's the worst smelling thing you guys have? And they gave him, you know, ferret poop. So after every day that it sits, it molds and it gets worse and worse over time. I saw that cup and I just threw it out the window. And you know, we were just going back for like a whole week, you know, just pranking each other. But I would say that was like off the court, the most memorable, funny moments in my career.
So I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you now. Like, it sounds like Larry, Ed, and who's the third?
Justin Watts.
Who's the Justin? Yeah, J-Dub. Like, it sounds like they got the best of you, John, and Leslie.
They got the best of us for sure.
Yeah.
They got the best of us. They won that war before. I mean, they won that war that time for sure.
Listen, that's good times right there, though. That's good times right there for sure. Yeah. Like, but you know what? Once again, but you know what? It's you know what's crazy? Family can do things like that
for sure
without the next feeling some type of way or whatever the case may be. And after it's all over with, all right, let's we got practice. Yeah, we got practice. Let's go to Sutton's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Grab a bite to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's I like that. It's crazy because I've been talking with J-Dub. I'm definitely I gotta ask him about that. I gotta ask him about that.
We remember for sure.
Yeah, I gotta ask him about that for sure. So let me ask you this. Moving to this next topic, because I have this discussion with a lot of people too. I have a Mount Rushmore of coaches.
Mm-hmm.
It involves 2 UNC coaches. Now, granted, one of them is, to me, the greatest coach to ever do it. Hands down. I don't think there's no competition.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Dean Smith, Roy Williams, Jim Calhoun, and oh my God, who was my 4th? Oh, Coach K. Right?
That's a hell of a score. Yeah.
So what makes Coach Williams the GOAT or a GOAT?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, it wasn't just basketball. I think a coach, a real genuine coach is also a teacher, right? And it's bigger than basketball. Like, whether, you know, any sport, you know, I think that what makes a Hall of Fame coach is the lessons that he can instill in a mindset that makes that person not just a better player, but a better person. And I think a lot of Coach Williams' lessons were lessons that I can implement outside of basketball, that they were like life learning lessons that prepared me to become a better person. So, you know, of course, he's, you know, a good X and O coach. You know, for somebody to be at that school for as long as he did and, you know, win that many championships, obviously he has the answers. But for me, personally, it was the lessons that, you know, that I got from him outside of basketball. One of them was very paramount to me. He said, when you point the finger at other people, just know that there's 3 pointing back at you. Right. And at the time when he was saying it, you know, obviously I'm 19, you know, I'm 20 years old, 19, and I didn't conceptualize it the way I do now. But taking 100% accountability on your actions and, you know, what happens to you in your life is something that, you know, I'm very perspicacious about. You know, I'm very aware of, you know, just everything that happens in my life is my fault. You know, I've never put the blame on other people, because once you do that, you know, you give that person power to, you know, control and dictate how you should feel about the circumstance, right? Like, if I'm blaming somebody else, I'm giving them power to dictate how I feel about the situation, right? So, you know, understanding that, you know, when you point the finger, three fingers are pointing back at you, is like, you know, take accountability on every situation that you're a part of. And even if, you know, there's going to be certain situations that, you know, you don't have no control over, but one thing that you will always have control over is how you react to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may be in your car chilling in a parking lot and somebody, you know, rear ends you or hits you by mistake. You know, was it your fault? No, but how are you going to react to it? How your reaction to that is your fault. So I think that was very paramount for me. And, there's one of many lessons that I would never forget. And I can, like I said, I can implement that in my life, and it makes me a better man. It makes me a better person.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, coach, so many incredible stories that I have heard about Coach Smith, about Coach Williams, about Coach Guthridge, even about Coach Doherty. Incredible stories. And of course, I mean, I haven't really talked to any of the current players here lately, but I can imagine Coach Davis is running things just about the same. Now, of course, he might have his own methods as far as how he goes about doing things, but the basics of it all comes from, I mean, you played under Dean Smith. You sat on the bench beside Coach Williams, and now you're the actual head coach. There's no way that he hasn't learned anything. Like, you know what I'm saying?
HD, so, I understand HD. I love HD, man. HD first year was my senior year. Like, his first year as assistant coach was my senior year.
Right.
And he was the first coach that, like, I'll never forget this. He hit me up, like, I think it was like 7 at night. Hit me up. He's like, yo, you want to go shoot? Like, and that was like different for me because as a coach, asking me like, yo, let's go get some shots up. But he was coming, like, I felt like it was like my teammate, like my dog, like telling me like, yo, let's go get some shots up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to get that from a coach was everything to me, that chemistry. I say this a lot as well. A lot of guys, and I guess this is like, I guess it, kind of goes with my idea of why Coach Williams was not just a great coach on the floor, but off the floor as well, because you got certain guys, like certain players that learn different. You got certain players that can listen and implement it in the game that can help them. You got certain players that need, that person that's telling them what to do to lead by example. I think that for me personally, that I like to get like correction and advice from somebody that actually lived that life that I'm trying to get towards. Right. So just the chemistry alone hit home for me with Hubert Davis, because obviously he went to Carolina. He got coached by Dean, by Coach Dean, Dean Smith. He was with Coach Roy Williams. He played in the NBA, and now he's a coach. So I think intrinsically, me listening to him was more receptive because he's been where I've been and he's been where I'm trying to get to. Right. And I think you can see a lot of guys, like you see a lot of, like, not just in sports, but just in general, like you see a lot of people who like do broadcasting and people who like talk about a profession. They have some type of experience in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you can see like sports is kind of shifting to that, where you got the what's the Lakers went to Duke? What's the Lakers coach?
JJ Redick.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's a like when he was dating, because you can believe him because he's been there. You know what I'm saying? So when he's talking about players and he's talking about game situations and stuff like that, like it's easier to be receptive to him opposed to a Stephen A. Smith who's knowledgeable, crazy, but he never played in the league, so he doesn't have that experience. It can only go so far. So I say all that to say, big props to HD and all of the coaches that came to Carolina, but HD was definitely one of my favorite because just that chemistry that we had, for me to experience that as a senior was everything to me when I was at Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you real quick. I don't know if you had seen it, the episode that I had with Derek Phelps.
Derek, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so Phelps told a story in regards to Coach Smith, right?
Okay.
So he said there was a couple of things. He said Coach Smith, when Derek was coming down the court, Coach Smith would just stop everything right at that moment. Like everybody's looking at him like, what happened? Like nobody was doing anything wrong or anything, but he would stop at that moment, stop the whole play, everything. The first thing Derek said that he did was he pulled him individually over to the side. And he said, no. As a matter of fact, he said it in front of everybody. He said, Derek, how you gonna lead this team or whatever if your man ain't supposed to be if your man isn't where he's supposed to be? So Derek was looking at him like, what you mean? Like, it ain't my job for them to get in their spot and get to the post or where they're supposed to be or to the position they're supposed to be. That's their position.
Yeah.
Coach Smith was like, no, that's your job. You're the machine that drives this team. You're the leader. Yeah. You're the point. Like, right? You know what I'm saying? So he said that and Derek said that he loved that type of stuff because, of course, him being from New York, being a point guard, it was a challenge for him. He said that he loved challenges. So he said that sometimes and it was just a habit, being from up north, and you know this probably as well. Players come up the court, they walk up the court, they dribble the ball through their legs, or whatever, just bringing the ball up the court steadily, just walking up the court.
Yeah.
Coach Smith stopped the whole play. And he told Derek, he said, what are you doing? Like, you trying to show off? Like, if you're going to dribble the ball through your legs, you better be making a move on your opponent. Yeah. Like, no, we don't do that. Like, that's not what we do. Like, and so Derek was like, that was a real big challenge for him because being from New York, New York, they stylish. They stylish players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he said that was something that he had to get used to.
Yeah, no, you made me remember how, or it made me want to talk about Coach Davis now. Like, I remember when I first came back, I went, I did practice with the guys and we was doing warm-ups and they were playing music while we were doing warm-ups. Like, this is like real life practice. And I never forget, he started playing music. I forgot who the artist was, probably like Lil Baby or Future or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is new. Like, I don't remember Coach Williams ever, playing music before practice. But I think what Hubert Davis does a great job at is, and this is not opposed in opposition of what Coach Roy Williams was doing, but he allows the guys just to like feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like in his own way. Coach Williams did the same thing in his own way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think you alluded to it earlier, where Carolina is still, it's the Carolina way. With different coaches, is just a different expression of it being the Carolina way, right? Like, I'll let y'all listen to some music, but it ain't gonna be, we just find a clean version. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's still respectful, and it's still, because Carolina comes with a certain type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just pick anybody to be the head coach for Carolina. You want somebody that can be, up to par, and somebody that's been through the fire and that has it experience, like, that Coach Davis has. But a lot of it has to do with him, coming to an organization like this, like Carolina, and doing it in his own way, but doing it in a respectful way, where you have, the alumni that can look back and say, okay, like Coach Smith would have never did this, Coach Williams would have never did this, but the guys feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? The guys feel comfortable. Everybody likes each other. The chemistry of the team is good. And I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I love the fact that that UNC and Carolina can keep things, like you said, the Carolina way.
Yeah.
But the way that they can start maneuvering and shifting things to where it accommodates whomever the coach is, or whatever the situation is, but still keep it the Carolina way. That's just incredible. I don't think there are any other schools out there that can do that. I truly believe that. Like, yeah, you have the Kentuckys, the Kansas, the Dukes, and all of that and stuff, but it's not Carolina. It's just not Carolina. Like,
yeah, ain't no school like Carolina, man. One of a kind.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't see now one other college that has all of those jerseys hanging. Excuse me. That number of jerseys hanging in the rafters. I don't see now one other college that has just as many, if not even half, of the jerseys that hang in the rafters at the Dean.
Yeah, I haven't been to an arena where that many jerseys. So
it's just, and you know what's funny? There's a lot of players that came through this school that are not up there. Like,
true, very true.
Where's Joe Forte? He's not in the rafters.
Yeah, he's not.
But 40 was bucket.
I thought his jersey is up there.
I don't think Joe Forte's jersey is up there. I could be wrong. Yeah. I could be wrong. But I don't think it's up there.
I gotta see one of those. I'll be back there soon. I gotta see. I feel like it is, but to your point, there's so many players. I mean, myself, there's so many players that great players that been there that had an impact. That jersey is not up there.
So I'm looking at it now because I was there last year. Oh, You know what? You're absolutely right. It is up there.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was up there. Yeah.
It is up there. Yep, it is up there. But still.
But Joe Forte is one of those guys that, to your point, to emphasize your point, Joe Forte is one of those guys that was just like a dog, you know what I'm saying, that don't get talked a lot. I guess because he wasn't glorified in the NBA. He didn't have a long career in the NBA and things of that nature. But him at Carolina was he was a problem.
He was a dog. He was a beast.
Yeah,
beast. Big shout out to Joe Forte, man. Like, hopefully I talk to you soon, my guy, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But so all right. So I'll ask you. I'm gonna put two questions in one. Two questions in one. So you've had the opportunity to go back to campus. You've had the opportunity to, practice with the current roster and things like that. RJ Davis has been named preseason All-American first team. Oh, he's a candidate.
Yep.
What advice what input or advice have you given him, or that you would give him? And then the second part to that question is, what are your expectations for this year's team?
Yeah, that's a good question. RJ is my dog. He's from New York too, so that's my dog. If he's watching this, if I can give him any advice, I would just say, just stay locked in. Just stay locked in. Be who you are. Don't get too wrapped up in the NIL, deals and all of that stuff and what comes with that as far as the attention from fans and all of that stuff. Like, just stay locked in. I think he has a great career. He's had a great career at Carolina. I think he can only progress. He can only elevate and just add on to his legacy at Carolina. He's a good kid too. Level-headed, smart, intelligent guy. But for me to if I was to give him any advice, I would just say to just continue to lock in, to continue to stay level-headed, remain the person who you are, and just keep growing. You know what I'm saying? The sky's the limit. He's a young guy, got a lot of talent. The potential is there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, for him, well, this is his 5th year, right? So, everybody's looking at him like, he's the head of the snake now. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been in the process for 5 years. You know what the fans are expecting of you. You know what your teammates expect. You know what the coaches expect. The weight is on you, and I think he's built for it. I think he's built for it for sure. If I had to pick somebody to take the last shot in a clutch situation, it would be him. And I think a lot of that comes with the type of person that he is off the floor too. You know what I'm saying? So just me being around him when I'm in practice or just working out with him, you know what I'm saying? Like just shooting with him, shooting a bunch of shots with him. I would just say, just stay level headed you are, and go out there, improve yourself.
That's from one legend to another. From one legend to another. That's what's up. That's what's up,
RJ. And then,
like,
also answer the other question. I think we're gonna be good, man. I think we're gonna be good. From what I see, I like the chemistry. I love the chemistry. I think chemistry is not talked about a lot in championship teams, and I think a lot of it has to do with like not just on the floor but off the floor. Like when I seen these guys interact with each other, like it seems like they like each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that plays a big effect. It's very efficacious towards, if you have the goal of being a championship team, to like your teammate outside of basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I think from what I see, I think we have a chance. I think, call me biased. I think we got a chance, every year because we are Carolina. But to see the guys and, what they've added, I like the kid Elliott, from Jersey. That's my guy. He's probably my favorite player on the squad. I think what he's going to be able to do this year as a sophomore, him learning from his mistakes. Not so much learning from. Well, yeah, I guess you can say that. You can, learning from his mistakes, but also, knowing what he needs to improve on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've been in his ear, every once in a while. I'll say certain things to him because I think with him is just, the mindset and him stepping into that role of being that guy. I think it was what word can I use? I think it was a shock for him, or just a unfamiliar feeling for him to go from high school and be that guy and be, the number one option to going to Carolina, and you're not the number one option. You have to, play your role. So I think him embracing that, I think he did a great job as a freshman, but him embracing that and him, into the role that he's going to be playing as a sophomore this year, I think he's, slowly but surely, from what I see, developing into a player that's not just going to be a great college player, but also a great pro. Seth was also one of my favorite. He's a freak of nature. His athleticism. He got straps on defense. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's really the X factor. If he has a great season, I think Carolina can definitely win it. We got some bigs. We got some bigs on the team now. A couple young guys, but you also got guys with experience. Coaches. I think Sean May, Coach Hubert Davis. I think everybody just locked in. From what I've seen, like I'm on the floor with these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm working out with these guys. Marcus Page is just doing a great job working these guys out individually. Elevating their talent and getting them in the gym and staying consistent. So I think we got a good shot this year for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a few days left. I'm crazy. I'm crazy excited. So I got two small questions.
Yep.
How do I want to say this? You have the option to pick a point guard to be on your team UNC type of team, or let's say your freshman year, you have the opportunity, and I'm trying to remember. I don't think you did. Yeah, nah, you didn't. But okay, you have the option to play with one point guard on your team your freshman year between Elliot Cadeau, Ty Lawson, or Kendall Marshall. But you didn't play with Kendall, right? Well, you didn't play with Kendall until
I played with Kendall. Kendall was a year younger than me. So
okay. He
my
came
freshman
in, so he came in after you, right?
My freshman year, my freshman class was me, John Henson, Leslie McDonald, and the Rare Twins.
Right.
My sophomore year, that's when Kendall came in with Harrison and Reggie Bullock.
Right. Okay. So your freshman year, your freshman year, you have the option to play with Kendall, Ty Law, or Elliot Cadeau. Which one you taking?
Ty Lawson.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. So the reason why I played Ty is because from my experience, right? I think Ty was like from baseline to baseline, one of the fastest one. I think I was up there with him as far as having the ball and running from one end of the court to the other end and transition. He was just that guy. He had he had the ball on the yo-yo. He knew when to attack. He knew when to pace himself. I wouldn't say he was a pass first point guard like Kendall Marshall was, which is not bad, but I felt like Ty was just more of a player that fits my pedigree, if that makes my style of play. A lot of people don't notice, a lot of fans don't notice, but I changed my game when I went to Carolina. I changed my game in sacrifice of the betterment of my team, right? So going to Carolina, in high school I was a McDonald All-American, and I was a scorer. And going to Carolina, I'm like, well, shit, I'm not the only McDonald All-American. I got 6 other McDonald's All-American, and they all can score. You know what I'm saying? So what is going to separate me? What's my niche to keep me on the floor as a freshman? So I'm like, okay, let me lock down on defense. At that time, we didn't have no lockdown defender. Somebody that can play the 1 and the 2. I was the only guy my freshman year that played the 1 and the 2. Larry was our point guard. He played the 1. Larry wasn't a 2. The 2 was Marcus Ginyard. And then you had Will Graves, Ed Davis, and Deion Thompson. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how can I get off the bench? All right, let me lock down on defense. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I took that sacrifice of being that guy, that X factor. They call me the Dex factor, but that X factor of, all right, well, let me get the loose balls. Let me strap up on defense. Most of my points came from transition, from getting steals and fast break dunks. That's where most of my points came at. The offense, Carolina, everybody knows it. Carolina offense wasn't not necessarily designed for the guards. It's designed for the bigs. So I didn't have plays designed for me to come off screens and shoot threes and stuff like that. I got my money through strapping up on defense, getting steals and fast break dunks and leading out, in transition. So to answer your question, man, I would pick Ty because I can run with Ty. Ty was, he wasn't a pass first point guard, but he had that killer instinct that he can get a bucket if you want to. You can't guard him; he just go right by you. And he also was a playmaker. So I would say out of all of them, that was a tough one. But for me, my style of play, I would say Ty Lawson for sure.
Got you. Okay, rapid fire, real quick. Last question. Rapid fire.
Let's get it.
Sean May or Tyler Hansborough?
Shit. Tyler Hansborough.
Antoine Jameson, Rasheed Wallace. Good gracious. Let me see. Small forwards. Jerry Stackhouse, Danny Green. That's probably unfair, but
That's a tough one, bro.
that's probably no. I tell you what, erase that. Jerry Stackhouse, Vince Carter.
I want to answer that. I mean, I'm gonna answer that.
I got a better one.
Go ahead.
Jerry Stackhouse, Vince Carter.
Vince.
Okay.
That was an easier one, by the way.
It was. Okay, so let me hear Jerry or Danny.
DG.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Two spots.
You said Jerry Stackhouse or Danny Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Green.
Okay. 2 spot. Wayne Ellington or Joe Forte?
So wait, hold on. Before I answer this, what does this pertain? What is this, like talent? Is it a bucket getter, like overall player? Like what is this?
Just who you would pick to as a starting 5 or whatever. A UNC starting 5. I'm just throwing out some names. That's the reason why it's actually off the dome. It's off the dome. I'm just saying because I tell you what caused this, right? I did the show last week. Well, it might have been a week ago or something like that. But I did a show with David, Ray, Q, and Mike all together.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that show was like.
Yeah.
Of course, we played like, each one of them, we played like snake draft, where they can draft players, a starting 5.
Yeah.
And then we created like a final 4. So like Q and Mike's team, Mike's starting 5s went up against each other. Ray and David's teams went up against each other. Let them kind of judge it, see which ones meet in the national championship game, of course. You know what I'm saying? But we used all UNC players with the exception of Michael Jordan because he was consensus. So it's just something that just came to mind or whatever, that I may even just start asking all the players this moving forward, to be honest with you.
Let me say this then. Well, I don't know if you want to keep going with the rapid fire. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I had Wayne or Joe Forte. And, well, I'll let you answer that one because the guard one, I got a good guard. I got a good comparison.
I have to be completely honest. Joe Forte was a problem, but I don't know too much of – I didn't watch too much of his game. When he was playing, I was, outside riding bikes and riding mongoose bikes and, in the park, throwing rocks on a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't really watching basketball at that time, to be completely honest. Me watching Wayne Ellington in high school, picking Wayne.
Okay.
Wayne
Marcus
was probably
Page
one of made me go to UNC.
That's what's up. Marcus Page or Joel Berry?
Marcus Page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, both any of them can win a national championship. Like listen, UNC has so many players that we can put teams up against each other because of so many players that is.
I'm gonna give you my 5. I'm gonna give you my 5.
Okay.
And this 5 can compete with any 5 that ever came to Carolina. I can give you my 5. But I'll let you set the rule, though. Do I include myself or I can't include myself?
You can if you want to.
Okay, I'll take the.
Now, wait a minute. Is this your greatest 5 like of all time that ever come through UNC or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I would say what was that? 2012. What was that? 2012, 2011.
Okay.
My junior year.
Okay.
If nobody got hurt, a lot of people got injured that year. I got injured. Leslie got injured. John broke his wrist. Kendall got hurt. We had Stillman White playing, was my guy. was playing, starting point against Kansas in the Elite Eight
against Kansas. Yep.
Or no, this Sweet 16, I think it was. But anyway, I would say that year, if nobody got hurt, that year. Yeah, so Kendall at 1, me at 2, Harrison at 3, John Henson at the 4, Tyler Zeller at the 5. I think that team right there, because you got the lockdown defender. I can raise my hand on that. You got Kendall, who's Kendall. You got Harrison Barnes, who's the Falcon, the Black Falcon. You got John Hook, call him the Hook. And you got Tyler Zeller. Yeah. I feel like that 5 right there, even like when I got hurt, when I tore my ACL, shit, you can bring Reggie Bullock off Reggie Bullock started playing. You can go with that 5. And Reggie's my dog. So I can exclude myself. I can take that 5 of Kendall Marshall, Reggie Bullock, Harrison Barnes, John Henson, and Tyler Zeller. That 5 too. If I was to exclude myself.
Yeah.
But I would take that 5. I would take my junior year over any team that ever came to Carolina. 100%. Full health.
Woo!
Full health. Yeah.
That's bold. That's bold to say. Woo. So you think, and that's no knock to nobody.
Let me talk about that team real quick. You got Kendall Marshall, you got Leslie McDonald, you got PJ Hairston, you got James Michael McAdoo, you got Tyler Zeller, you got Reggie Bullock, you got John Henson, you got who was that live bench? Oh, I'm missing. Justin Watts.
Jackson Simmons. Justin Watts. Jackson Simmons.
I feel like I'm missing something. I don't want to pull out my phone, but I feel like I'm missing someone. Don't even talk about the walk-ons, Blue Steel. We had one of the best walk-ons that ever came to Carolina, Blue Steel. The fans know about Blue Steel. I would say that year was just crazy, man. That was my junior year. What was that? 2012? 2011, 2012?
Yeah, that's 2011, 2012. So you I hate to even ask this question. I really do. So you think that team, I have 3 teams that of course I just want to ask. You think that team beats the 2009 team?
I think we can beat them for sure. Talking like a series.
Series?
Yeah.
You think that team beats the 2005?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Sean May, Ray Felton.
Yeah. 32, McCants, David, Ray Sean.
I'm rocking with my team. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it wrong.
You're supposed to, though. I got you.
Yeah, but I genuinely believe that, though. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that if nobody got hurt, if I didn't tear my ACL, if Leslie didn't tear his ACL, if John didn't break his wrist, if I think it was John or Kendall, I think Kendall hurt his wrist as well. If
Kendall
that
broke his wrist.
If that team is healthy, we win the national championship. I genuinely believe that. I mean, things could happen, right? Like we can all say, what if this could have happened, that could have happened. But I genuinely believe that year was we had a powerhouse. We had a powerhouse. We had a great, great team. This doesn't take away from the Sean May and Ray Felton and David Noel. It don't take away from them at all.
Right.
But I just genuinely believe, like, college players that, you know what I'm saying, like 2012 and 2005 would have been a great matchup. I think we would have came out on top for sure.
We never would know. Listen, I think that listen, when I put that post up, because I put a post up about that, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, And I think that team, as a matter of fact, it was the 11 team. Let me
2011,
see.
yeah.
That was the 11 team. It was, yeah. I put up which was the best team to never win a chip. You had the 84, 95, the 11, and the 14.
100% the 11.
Yeah.
That starting five, I'm telling you, that starting five was strong, bro. That starting five was strong.
That 95 team was crazy, but then that 97, that one was crazy too.
Yeah.
Was it 97, 98 when you had Vince, Twan, Coda, Shaman, Adamola.
That was a tough team. That was a tough team.
Big Mac. Like you had big B Wood. Like, and then Peppers came in.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why it's so much of a challenge to like say what I'm saying, but I mean, I was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like that team could have won the national championship. And again, I keep saying this, but it doesn't take away from these other teams. These, you know, the 97 team, the 95 team, the 84 team, the 09 team, 2017 team. It doesn't take away from that, but there's some great players that went to Carolina, man. There's so many teams that we can choose. I'm gonna just rock with myself. You feel me?
I love doing that. Like you said, it's no knock to none of the players because listen, I love them all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's no knock to none of the players. I stand on that. It's no knock at all. But what makes it so fun is number one, other teams out there can't do this, what we do. Yeah. Like, we could actually.
You also know what's crazy? I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but you know what's also crazy? Like, my freshman year, I got a chance to like experience the worst team that ever came to Carolina. Oh, wait, talk about that. Yeah. I think if this is not a mistake, I think my freshman year was the worst record that Carolina experienced. I think
the one with Jason Cable?
Tournament. We went. We made the NIT. That was like that was. Nah.
Oh,
that was my freshman year. That was Ed Davis, Larry Drew, Deion Thompson, Will Graves, John Henson, the Rare Twins. We weren't playing that much, but we didn't make the tournament. We went to NIT and lost that. So
that team is better than the Jason Capel team era.
No, it's better. Sorry. It's better. I guess what I'm trying to do is emphasize that I got the juxtaposition of having a terrible season and being on that 011 team and like us, if we were all healthy and getting that national championship. So
yeah. I just love the fact that there's no other teams out there that can do this. Like, we could actually build teams, not just starting fives. Just in North Carolina, we could build teams, like 15 players per team. Like, it's a beautiful thing because it's a beautiful debate. I call it a beautiful debate because so many great players. You can sit up, you can compare them. You can say, oh, this one would win this. This matchup would be a great matchup. Like, it's beautiful debate. That's pretty much what I call it. So listen, I love it, man. I love it. It's just a beautiful thing, bro. Like,
for sure.
I think I'm gonna have to do the whole team thing and stuff like that. I might have to do that again in the future or something like that, like, for sure, because I love to hear the different answers because sometimes you mention players that I might have forgotten. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm older than a lot of you all. Like, but at the same time, I still like look at everybody as like the superstars to me because I grew up as a fan watching you all. And now I'm on this side of things being able to talk to you all, which is such a beautiful thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So so I just it's fun. It's fun to be able to do things like that and do, you know, experiments and, you know, different, you know, just comps, just having comps, I guess you could say. So so but you know, but yeah, man, that's crazy. Listen, I totally appreciate you, of course, stopping by to chop it up with me.
No doubt.
It's a beautiful thing. Like I always tell everybody, it's an open invitation, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do, you want to, anytime you want to stop through, chop it up on the show with me. I'm always down for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's never a bad day.
I really do appreciate your platform. You know what I'm saying? I really do, because you get a chance to, you know, talk to the guys, and it's not just about basketball, but it's like also getting into personal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, having, you know, giving these guys an opportunity and a floor, or, you know, like I said, like that light that can get them to talk about their life experiences. And like I said earlier, it gives the fans a better perspective and a better idea of why that player is, you know, the way they are. You know what I'm saying? To touch on, well, what even made you think about going to Chapel Hill? You know what I'm saying? I've never been asked that question. You know what I'm saying? Like from that perspective, you know what I'm saying? I've never gave that story of me, you know, at my grandmother's house staring at, you know, a picture of Michael Jordan. And then, you know, little did I know it was a subconscious manifestation 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think about that stuff. So I appreciate your platform, man. I loved your questions. You know, hopefully you get some of these guys on here to, you know, just talk about their experiences and their journey, because I think a lot of kids, the youth, I think they need to hear, you know, the trials and tribulations and certain things that we go through that allowed us to be the person that we are and allow us to go to a school like North Carolina. I think it's so important for the youth. Yeah.
And you know, I could have asked so many other questions, man, but you know, I try to keep the shows to a certain limit, you know, unless, you know, one of these days we
run it back. I said we can run it back.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what the open invitation is for. You know what I'm saying? Anytime, bro. Anytime, for sure.
I'm gonna try to keep my word. I'm gonna try to get Reg on here, man. I'm gonna try to, you know, maybe we can do one together. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, piggyback off of, you know, what we already talked about and get into some other things. So I'm gonna keep my word on that.
Absolutely. We gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out for sure. Like we gonna definitely make it happen. So you know, but yeah, for sure. But like I said, man, it's an honor, it's a pleasure. You know, whatever you got going on, of course, you know, much success to you. You know, you got my support, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you need something, then I mean, if I can do it, you already know, bro. You can hit me up. Let me know. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, but let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, I mean, I do post. I don't post that much, but things that I got going on, you can just catch me on Instagram, Baden Jaxen, BADEN JAXEN at, well, I'm about to say my email, just Baden Jaxen _ Baden Jaxen _ that's my Instagram, and my Twitter is the same. So you know, I share my thoughts and what I got going on Twitter. You know, I show a bit about my life, how I travel all over the world, and you know, chilling with my friends, and you know, certain projects that I got going on. I post all of that on Instagram as well. So that's where you can find your boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everybody knows, all of the information, of course, will all be in the description at the bottom. So, you know, all you got to do is just scroll down to the bottom or whatever, click on the link. It'll send you right to his pages. So, you know, that way y'all can reach out to Baden, man, and chop it up with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he would definitely appreciate that for sure. So you know. But once again, man, I appreciate you stopping by. And once again, you know, much success to you, and you got my support, my guy, for sure.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that, man. For real.
Absolutely. That's Baden Jaxen, everybody. Absolutely. Baden, you know what that means, right? You know I told you what it meant at the beginning of the show. So you know that just means that somebody is at the door.
Go open it, man. Let's see what we got. I'll catch you later.
Right. Absolutely. We'll chop it up, man, for sure. So you know, we appreciate everybody stopping through, chopping it up, and checking out the show and everything. And until the next time, y'all hold it down.